Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I hope that you're all well and having a really great day so far. Today's video is going to be an update for weeks 4 and 5 of my Fast 800 Weight Loss Diary series. So if you'd like to know how I got on, grab yourself a drink, subscribe if you haven't already, and keep on watching. So week 4 was just an absolute disaster. I'm just going to come right out and say it was terrible. I think that I mentioned on my last update that in week 3 I wasn't very well at all, and week 4 was really the fallout from that because I hadn't prepped and I wasn't organised at all. So there was no shopping done. I was also going on holiday in week 5, so I was trying to catch up with housework, do the washing, make sure that I'd got everything packed that I wanted to take with me. So really just a complete disaster, and what that meant was I was just reaching for all the wrong types of food. I probably had a takeaway, I would guess 5 out of the 7 days that week. I know that I definitely ordered Domino's twice. I think I also had a Chinese and fish and chips as well, so just not good at all. But again, these are things that I know have gone against me in the past when I'm not organised and I try and grab things for quick. This is where things derail and I just go completely off the wagon. I normally weigh in on a Thursday morning, and that's just so I've got a little bit of time to film the video and then edit it and upload it to YouTube for you. Thursday was the day before I went on holiday, so as you can imagine, really disorganised that week, trying to get packed, get everything ready, clean up the house, do the chores, etc. I did weigh myself, but unfortunately I think I was just in so much of a fluster, I did forget to take a screenshot of the details for that week. But when I did weigh in, I had actually gained 5 pounds, which at the time I just looked at that number, and although it wasn't a surprise because obviously I know what I'd been eating all week, I just felt really disheartened. And you know when you just sit back and sort of have a little think to yourself and you think, well, why have I actually done this? I was doing quite well in weeks 1, 2 and 3. I'd done the hard part, which was staying on track while I wasn't well, and then just in the week after it just completely derailed. But I have to take responsibility for that, and my actions are 100% in my control. So I need to really learn from this situation and try not to let it happen again. Obviously that I know that I'm going to have odd slips where, I have a piece of cake or maybe I have a meal out with friends and I don't follow the plan 100% in that moment. But what I don't want to repeat is being 100% off plan for a longer duration. Being off plan for a whole week has obviously had a real negative impact on the scales, so I really don't want to be in this situation again. I don't think there's anything else that I can update you on for week 4. Obviously I didn't follow the Fast 800 for the whole of the week, so I don't have any recipes or ideas that I can share with you that might help you with your journey. So probably best if we move on to week 5. So week 5 was a little bit different because I was on holiday for the whole of the week. We actually rented a converted barn down in Taunton in Somerset, and I went there with my husband, my mum and dad, and we also took our 2 dogs with us. I will insert a picture up here of Riley and Tess because they look super cute buckled into the back of the car ready to go on their holidays. We stayed in the countryside and it was actually on farmland, so they'd converted the old barns and also some of the outbuildings into holiday letting cottages. It was absolutely fantastic for me because it did have a full kitchen, and it was also convenient because we could order a Tesco delivery in advance and get all of the food shopping delivered directly to the holiday let, as opposed to packing all the bags up and taking all the food with us in the car. There was also a gas barbecue there, which was really great for me because the UK got hit with this huge heat wave last week. It was so hot, it was to the point of being a bit uncomfortable, and I'm so fair, I don't do well in the heat at all. I have to, you know, plaster myself in factor 50 and try and sit in the shade. But from an eating perspective, it worked out quite well because I didn't really want to eat large amounts of food, and I was also really drawn to salads and some barbecue food as well. So as long as what we were putting on the barbecue was healthy, I found it quite easy to stick to the diet the week that I was away. There were some temptations though, and I did treat myself to a glass of red wine with dinner on a couple of the evenings, but other than that I just stayed away from alcohol completely. That's not too difficult for me to do, if I'm honest. I'm not a big drinker, and I've never got into the habit of drinking at home. I think that's because when I first moved out I just couldn't afford to buy alcohol in the shopping, and I've just never started to buy it ever since then, really. I do like the odd cocktail though, or glass of wine if I go out for a meal, but as I said, resisting alcohol is not too difficult for me. Ice cream, on the other hand, is a completely different story. I do have a really big sweet tooth, so things that I crave are things like cake, ice creams, chocolate, things like that really. And with the weather being so hot, having an ice cream just, you know, would have really hit the spot. But I did resist. I didn't cave into my cravings at all. Even when everybody else had a Magnum, I just tried to be strong, and I thought, I'm not going to have one because if I do, that's just a slippery slope. And obviously I was really keen to try and pull back some of the weight that I'd gained in week 4. I wanted to be really focused in week 5. I wasn't expecting to lose all of the weight, but I did want to, you know, lose as much as possible, so I hadn't done too much damage overall. We got home on Friday afternoon and I decided to wait until Saturday morning to weigh in. I always like to weigh in first thing in the morning before I've eaten or drank anything, and that's because throughout the day, as I'm having meals and drinking, I can gain up to 2 pounds. So as long as I weigh myself at the same time every week, I know that that result is a true reflection of my weight loss. But I did forget to take my scales with me on holiday, so it did mean that week 5 was a 9-day week. I am going to stick to a weigh-in on Saturday morning going forward, just because I think as we get into the winter months, weighing in on Saturday is probably a bit more convenient because it will be lighter during the daytime on Saturday, so I can film the video for you. So yeah, week 5 was a bit of a longer result, but it will even out and just be, you know, a normal weekly weigh-in after that. And I was so pleased with the result when I got on the scales. I actually weigh 15 stone now, which means that if I'd gained 5 pounds in week 4, I'd actually lost 7 in week 5. So the net difference is, from my last update, I've lost 2 pounds, which is a great result. I'm now cumulatively at a loss of 1 stone 3.6 pounds, which again, so happy about. I am sort of a bit disappointed with myself that I had that blip in week 4, but in reality it's, you know, no harm done in the long term. I just need to try and keep focused week on week just to get some sort of loss. As I follow the Fast 800 and try new recipes, I always like to share with you the ones that I've really enjoyed, just because you might like them too. And I always think that having a bit of variety does make it easier to stick to an eating plan longer term. If you're eating the same food all the time, it can very quickly get boring, so variety is definitely key for me. The 2 recipes that I tried this week were both in this Fast 800 Red Book. The first is the smashed avocado on toast. This was absolutely gorgeous. It's on some sourdough bread. It has walnuts in mixed with the avocado, and there's also some chili flakes in there to give it a bit of a kick, and some balsamic vinegar as well. This is a really nice breakfast. I tended to eat it at breakfast time, but it would also make a really nice brunch or lunch. Maybe if you've got one of your friends coming over, this would be a really great one to have because it does look really pretty and you would never tell that you're eating, you know, what I would call diet food. It's very tasty, as are all of the other recipes that I've tried, but this one is very nice. And another one that I've really enjoyed is the Greek style salad. I think in this hot weather we often crave salads more so than, you know, hot dinners and hot vegetables, and this was a really nice alternative. Obviously lettuce, tomato and cucumber are great, but if we're having that for lunch and dinner and very regularly throughout the week, it can often get boring very, very fast. But this is just a nice alternative. I really enjoy the Greek salad. It's nice to have the feta cheese and the olives in there as well. But this is a really nice dish to have as a light bite maybe for lunch, but it's also a great accompaniment to have as a side dish for barbecues. And this would also just make that barbecue table look that little bit more interesting. Going into week 6, I'm feeling very motivated for a loss this week. I've already done my shopping and a meal plan, so being disorganised is not an option. I've bought myself a barbecue from Amazon and actually I got a really good deal on it. I will link it into the Amazon storefront in the description box below, but this is a picture of the one that I've bought and my husband just assembled it today. I definitely want to take advantage of this nice weather. I really enjoy barbecue food and salads, and it obviously worked well for me last week, so I'm quite keen to continue that this week while I'm enjoying it. I also want to build some exercise into my weekly routine. I did exercise in weeks 1 and 2 and that gave me a really, really good result. So I'm keen to incorporate that again. I haven't exercised for the last 3 weeks and that's because I was ill in week 3, very disorganised in week 4 and then on holiday in week 5. So I have been proactive about it and booked a few gym classes. I'd like to do at least 4 sessions of exercise this week, and hopefully that with the meal plan that I've done will give me a great result at the end of the week. So fingers crossed for that. As I said, feeling really motivated so far, and I hope that continues for the rest of the week. If you're on a weight loss journey yourself, whether that is with the Fast 800 or a completely different plan altogether, then please get in touch because I love to hear from you. Maybe you've already done your journey and you're in the maintenance phase, maybe you're just starting out. Anybody's welcome to join in the conversation and it helps us build our little online community. But I think that it's great that people have started to get in touch and, you know, we can support each other. Losing weight is not easy. I would say it's probably the hardest thing that I've ever tried to do. But I love to hear from you guys. And that is everything for my week 4 and 5 update. I really hope that you enjoyed the video. If you did, please let me know by giving it a thumbs up. And if you'd like to see more videos from me, hit the subscribe button and the notification bell because I'd love to have you back. Thank you so much for watching and see you on my next one. Enjoy the rest of your day.